Hello students, welcome to this channel. NEET Physics 2020 Solutions Part 4, 10 questions. We'll go into the solution. Question number 29. We finished up to 28 in previous parts. We'll go to the question now. Assume that light of wavelength 600 nanometer is coming from a star. The limit of resolution of telescope whose objective has a diameter of 2 meter is. Four options are given. Limit of resolution, the formula is 1.22 lambda by A. Lambda is the wavelength used, A is the diameter of the objective. Simply plug in the values. 1.22 lambda by A. 1.22 lambda is 600 nanometer. 1 nanometer is 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. A is 2 meter given. You can see here. So by 2. Simplify. The 600 you know, that is 6 into 100. 10 power 2, 10 power minus 9, so 10 power minus 7. This 6 is there, 2 is there, so there will be 3 in the numerator, 3 into 1.22, 10 to the power of minus 7 meter. Therefore, 3 into this 1.22 is 3.66 into 10 to the power of minus 7. Because it is an angle, you get the unit as radian. So, the correct option is 3.66 into 10 to the power of minus 7 radian. That is option 4. Next question. A resistance wire connected in the left gap of a meter bridge balances a 10 ohm resistance in the right gap at a point which divides the bridge wire in the ratio 3:2. If the length of the resistance wire is 1.5 meter, then the length of 1 ohm of the resistance wire is. Okay, 4 options. 1.0 10 to the power of minus 1 meter, 1.5 10 to the power of minus 1 meter, 1.5 10 to the power of minus 2 meter. The last option 1.0 10 to the power of minus 2 meter. So this is the diagram, approximate diagram for the meter bridge. I haven't drawn the full diagram. To what extent required, that alone has been drawn. A very simple diagram is drawn here. Left gap, right gap, jockey. This is the jockey is at the balancing length. Because it's given the ratio 3:2, you write it as 3x and 2x, so that the ratio becomes 3:2. And you know the condition for balance in meter bridge, r by 3x will be equal to 10 by 2x. Okay, so r by 3x is equal to 10 by 2x. Of course, x and x will cancel from both sides of the equation. So r will be 10 into 3 by 2, 15 ohm. But that 15 ohm wire has a length 1.5 meter. Then what would be the length of 1 ohm of the resistance wire? For homogeneous material, resistance is proportional to length. So 15 ohm, we found it to be 15 ohm, this one. It's a wire. It has got a length 1.5 meter according to the given data. Therefore, if it is 1 ohm resistance, what will be the length? So 1.5 by 15 into 1.5 by 15 is equal to 0.1. Of course, it is length, so meter. So 1.0 into 10 to the power of minus 1 meter. The correct option is option 1. Is it clear? We'll go to the next problem. Next question. Light with an average flux of 20 watt per centimeter square falls on a non-reflecting surface at normal incidence having surface area 20 centimeters squared. The energy received by the surface during time span of 1 minute is. Option 1 12 into 10 power 3 joule, option 2 24 into 10 power 3 joule, option 3 48 into 10 power 3 joule, option 4 10 into 10 to the power of 3 joule. You can do it very simply because there is no reflection taking place. Whatever falls on the surface, that is received. Okay, it is non-reflecting surface. Very simple. 20 watt per centimeter square means 20 joule per second per centimeter squared. But you want it for 20 centimeter squared. This is for per centimeter squared. So multiply by 20. Again, this is for 1 second. But you want it for 1 minute. So multiply by 60. So for 1 centimeter square energy per second 20 joule. Therefore 20 centimeter square the energy per minute is 20 into 20. But this is per second. So multiply it by 60. This would be 24,000 joule, which is nothing but 24 into 10 to the power of 3 joule. So correct option is option 2. Next question. A ray is incident at an angle of incidence of I on one surface of a small angle prism, okay, with angle of prism A, and emerges normally from the opposite face, if the refractive index of the material of the prism is mu, then the angle of incidence is nearly equal to 4 options. Option 1 2a by mu, option 2 mu a, option 3 mu a by 2, option 4 a by 2 mu. This is the diagram of the small angle prism. Incident ray, refracted ray passes through the prism at 90 degree here. See, emerges normally from the opposite face. So this is 90, and you see this triangle here. This is A, this is 90, so it has to be 90 minus A. Because this is normal, these two angles should add up to 90. This is 90 minus A, so this has to be A. A is nothing but angle of refraction. Angle of incidence is I, angle of refraction is A. So small angle prism, mu is equal to I by R. Actually mu is equal to sin I by sin R. For small angled prism, sin I is I, sin R is R. So I is equal to mu into R, mu as it is, but R is A as you see from the diagram. So I is equal to mu A. So option 2 is correct. Next question. A 40 microfarad capacitor is connected to a 200 volt 50 hertz AC supply. The RMS value of the current in the circuit is nearly. Again you can directly apply the formula. IRMS is VRMS by XC. XC is capacitive reactance or capacitive reactance. VRMS 200 given. XC 1 by C omega. Take it to the numerator. 200 as it is. C is 40 microfarad. 40 micro. Omega is 2 pi F. 2 pi. F is 50. So you will have to simplify. 40 into 2 pi, 80 pi. 200 into 50. 10 power 4, 10 power minus 6. So 10 power 4 minus 6. This is 10 power minus 2. 80 pi. Pi, of course, you can take as 3.14. You will get approximately 251 10 power minus 2. Then approximately equal to 2.51 or 2.5 ampere. See 2.5 ampere. This is 25.1. This is only 2.5. So correct option is 2. 34th question, that is next question. 34 means in our order. So dimensions of stress are, stress by definition force per unit area. Writing the dimensions of force ml t power minus 2 for area L squared, m L to the power of minus 1 t to the power of minus 2. Therefore option 3 is correct. Next question, the Brewster angle IB for an interface should be option 1 30 degree less than IB less than 45 degree, option 2 45 degree less than IB less than 90 degree, option 3 IB is equal to 90 degree, option 4 0 degree less than IB less than 30 degree. We know according to Brewster's law mu is equal to tan IB. Mu is equal to tan IB, but mu is greater than 1. So we have tan IB should be greater than 1, which implies IB should be greater than 45 degree. So here, but it can't be equal to 90. If it is equal to 90, what will happen? It will be tan 90. It will be imagine if you put tan 90 here, then refractive index is going to be infinity. Is it clear? So it can't be 90. Therefore IB should be greater than 45 and also less than 90. Is it clear? Therefore correct option is option 2. Next question. A wire of length L, area of cross section A is hanging from a fixed support. The length of the wire changes to L1 when a mass m is suspended from its free end. The expression for Young's modulus is option 1 mg into L1 minus L by AL, option 2 mgl by AL1, option 3 mgl by A into L1 minus L, option 4 mgl1 by AL. Direct application of the formula for Young's modulus. Young's modulus is defined as stress by strain. Stress in turn is defined as force per unit area. Strain we can define as increase in length by original length. Force by area. This will be the other way around when it is taken to the numerator. So original length by increase in length. Force mg, that's what you are hanging here, okay, and area is A, okay. Then original length is L. final length is L1, so increase in length should be L1 minus L, increase in length. So mgl divided by A into L1 minus L. So this is the correct option. Option 3 is correct. Next question. A short electric dipole has a dipole moment of 16 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb meter. The electric potential due to the dipole at a point at a distance 0.6 meter from the center of the dipole, situated on a line making an angle of 60 degree with the dipole axis, is given 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton meter square per coulomb squared. Okay, option 1 200 volt, option 2 400 volt, option 3 0, option 4 50 volt. This is potential due to an electric dipole we have to consider at any far off point. So the formula is this: V is equal to Kp by d square into cos theta. Put all the values. K 9 into 10 power 9 given, no, K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, given here to be 9 into 10 power 9. P is dipole moment 16 into 10 to the power of minus 9. Here cos theta, is 60, so cos 60. D square, D is 0.6. 0.6 is 6 into 10 power minus 1. Square it. 36 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Is it clear? Calculations can be done easily. So 10 to the power of minus 9, 10 to the power of plus 9. So 10 power 0, which is 1. Okay. Then cos 60 is half, is written here. The remaining things you calculate. 9, 36. So 4 in the denominator. 16 is there. So 4 is again there now in the numerator. 10 power minus 2 in the denominator. So 4 divided by 10 power minus 2, 400 into half. So 200 volt. So the correct option 1. Next question. In a guitar, two strings A and B made of same material are slightly out of tune and produce beats of frequency 6 Hz. When tension in B is slightly decreased, the beat frequency increases to 7 Hz. If the frequency of A is 530 Hz, the original frequency of B will be option 1 524 Hz, option 2 536 Hz, option 3 537 Hz, option 4 523 Hz. Here the beat concept is involved. See here, these are the two main points. If N1 and N2 are the frequencies of two vibrating strings, then the beat frequency N1 minus N2. The second point to be used is the tension on a string is decreased, the frequency of vibration decreases. So how to understand the second point? What does the second point say? The tension on a string is decreased, frequency of vibration also decreases. For that, if you could recall the sonometer experiment, we know for fundamental 1 by 2L root T by M. See, tension increases, frequency will increase. Is it clear? Therefore, when tension increases, frequency increases. That's given as a second point here. So now we will go to the problem. There are two strings. Frequency of A 530 Hz. Frequency of B we have to find. But first time beat frequency is 6 Hz. That is before the tension of B is changed. First time beat frequency 6 Hz. The frequency of B should be either 530 plus 6 or 530 minus 6. That is 524 or 536. That should be frequency of B, because the difference should be 6. N1 minus N2. So it is either 524 or 536. To make sure out of the two which is correct, B is, the tension of B is decreased. So out of the two, when tension decreases, the frequency of B should decrease. If it is 524, it has to decrease from 524. If it is 536, it has to decrease from 536 when the tension is decreased. But second time beat frequency is 7 Hz. So imagine when this decreases, say by 1 Hz, it will become 523. So 530, 523, 7 Hz. That is possible. Second time beat frequency. Suppose if it decreases from 536 to 535, then it will become 5. So beat frequency has decreased for the second time, but you have to get 7 Hz. You see, 7 Hz. Therefore, beat frequency for the second time is 7 Hertz. So I just explained to you once again. Two strings, frequency of the string A 530, frequency of B not given, but it is given when it vibrates. When A vibrates with B, it produces 6 Hertz. So B should have a frequency 524 or 536. To make sure the string B's tension is decreased, therefore the possible value of the frequency B being 524, 536, it has to decrease from these two values. And to make sure which is correct, you just think this way. Suppose it decreases from 524 to 523. 530, 523, subtract, difference you find out, second time beat frequency 7 Hertz. Frequency increases to 7 Hertz, beat frequency increases to 7 Hertz. Second time beat frequency. But if it decreases from this to 535, then the beat frequency for the second time will be 5 Hertz. Therefore, this has to be the correct answer. We'll have to decrease the frequency slightly. Okay, it should not decrease drastically. It should decrease only slightly. If that be the case, this will be simply from 524 to 523, you get 7 Hertz. So the correct answer is 524 Hertz. Is it clear? Okay. Thank you. We will meet in the next video. Thank you.